You're listening to From a Certain Point of Skew, the only Star Wars podcast that has predicted with 60% accuracy the Book of Mandalorian, Favloni Strikes Back. I am Jason the Angry Ginger, inside Wookiee Poo Studios. I'm not alone, unfortunately. I brought two others with me. I've got my neighbor Cole.
That was not the correct title, sir.
I know.
You're being
I
facetious.
skipped around. So what are you? You are one of the wretched scoundrels, or smugglers.
Oh, I was talking about the Book of Mandalorian, Favloni Strikes Back.
Correct. I was just being creative.
You were.
Yeah.
You've got so many creative bones in your body. Depending on what glory...
One's going to be inside of you in a minute.
I was going to say, depending on what glory hole you're inhabiting for the evening.
The person talking that is judging my creative bone is neighbor Cole.
That's like a verbal pause, like when you say,
Yeah.
Thanks for having me in the studio, Jason, and for being as hospitable as ever.
You're welcome.
I tried to make the trek down here just in a t-shirt, and I got 2 steps out my door, and I said, nope,
Yeah,
turn back around and grab my coat.
Yeah.
She's a bit chilly.
Tell me about this bionic arm you're looking for.
I've had my bionic arm search going for about 3 weeks now.
Okay.
I don't know. What
You just looking to mod?
Oh, yeah, I want to become one of the mods for the Book of Boba Fett. I want to patrol the streets, scout out.
What color would your hyper Vespa be?
Do you get to keep your hand?
Taupe, yeah.
Taupe.
No, the hand is just like a hand that grips the throttle, and then you slip my actual hand into it. It's like a
Okay.
glove.
All right.
It automatically regulates my speed.
That's cool.
It's kind of like the Star Wars version of a breathalyzer to start your vehicle. We're all familiar with those. That beautiful injected voice that you heard earlier, just a few moments ago, was our third micer, Darth Mathias, or as I like to refer to him affectionately, Mart. Hey, Matt. How you doing?
Hello. Thanks for having me in today. This is funny. Whenever I edit back, we always thank Jay for having us here. Like, it's not like we're guests on the show.
Right. Yeah. You guys are so polite.
Well, he makes such a big fucking deal out of Wookiee Poo Studios. Like, it's, like a VIP club.
I won't bring it up again.
You shouldn't.
boy.
All right.
Well, you need to lose that.
It's going to be one of those apps.
I'd
Hope
lose
your arms
that
get pulled
if
off
I
in
were
the
you.
studio.
Depends on how mad we make Kyle.
Listen, 3PO.
Okay.
Oh, boy. Show over.
Yep.
I got a question. I got a question for Mart though, real quick.
Okay.
Did you check the weather in Grand Rapids to see if Jay was going to be able to record tonight?
No, at one point, you guys kept talking about the snow.
Yeah.
And he was posting stuff on Twitter about it. And I was like, well, maybe I should just check and see if it's snowing today.
He
I looked,
did.
it was like, sure enough, 20 degrees and clear. I was like, all right, we're good to go.
Because no one would answer with the chat. He's like, you know what? I'll just check the weather. So we typed in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Looks clear to me. You guys good to record?
I have the Grand Rapids, weather cams and traffic cams all on a display.
He's got every other clock in the house is tuned to Grand Rapids time.
Yeah.
Just so he's
That's
like,
how he's
oh.
so quick with it.
Right.
He knows what time we're recording, what time we sleep. He knows if we've been naughty or nice.
He probably had during Podtoberfest, Bauerfett, when he was here or something, he just threw a ring camera in somewhere. I don't even know, Matt can see the studio even when Skype's not on.
I'm like I'm like one of those QAnon guys with a fucking piece of tape over my mic or over my camera, front-facing camera.
Mart's watching.
Yeah, when you were late a couple weeks ago, I had all the cameras searching for your vehicle, looking for face identification and all that.
Enemy of the state style. You're just
Right.
you got a van down
He's
the road.
3 blocks away. He told me he was there already, but he's 3 blocks away. Liar. Anyway, if you'd like to find our show, we are at FromACertainPointOfSkew.com. You can find us on Twitter at FACPAPod, and you can email the show FACPAPod@gmail.com.
All I can see is Cole watching the monitor of you trying to find me. Who's going to be on camera? like Luke Skywalker last year. You didn't know who it was.
We are also part of the Podawans Podcast Network at Podawans on Twitter. And a reminder, we are still doing our giveaway, our lightsaber that Darth Flamingus is crafting as we speak. It's all season long on Book of Boba. Book of Boba. So we will do the giveaway after the final episode. So not next week, but the week after. So tweet the show, tweet at the show, email the show, tell a friend about it, write a review. You can get points for all that stuff. And I did want to say on a side note, there's another thing maybe you can do to help get yourself some entries, and that is that you can go on other shows and shout us out. So a friend of the show, Jeannie, was on History of Bad Ideas, shouted out the show. Thank you, Jeannie.
Jeannie, that's awesome.
You get an entry.
I'm going to do that on 7 Days a Geek. I'm going to shout out FACPA, and I'm going to get so many
There you
entries.
go.
You are not eligible.
That's what you guys think. Me and Mike Laybourne are in cahoots.
Oh, that would be interesting.
We're gaming
Maybe
the
a
system.
twist.
Keep your enemies closer.
Yep.
Is that how it goes, Matt? Something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
All right, what's going to happen on the show today, fellas? First up, we've got a question of the week, Cobb v. Chad, or Cad, as they say in the Star Wars universe. Book of Boba Fett, Chapter 6, From the Desert Comes a Stranger.
Coolest title ever for a series.
It really is. It kind of like alludes to something else. Like right away you see the title, and then it starts up, and you're like, oh, right when the
Oh, the wind chime?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I knew it.
what are they, the water...
Shout out to Mart, who fucking was 100% on that prediction.
Oh, I've got an audio clip I'll play later.
Oh, just to capture
He's
it.
pulling this righteousness.
Your Honor, I'd like to push it into the
Exhibit A.
Exhibit A. That's what I'm trying to fucking sputter out the sentence fragment.
We've got a Maul Bag. We've got 4 emails.
Woo!
Listeners, you're doing us right. We appreciate you, but we do not appreciate your family because they're not writing in. So let's step up their game, okay?
Double your entries.
And then we're gonna end the show with a FACPAtoid. What's with Cad Bane's scuba implants?
Oh.
Little tease there. First up, though, is written by the lovely neighbor Cole, is our question of the week.
I'm going to try not to stumble through
I knew this was you. I could just tell by the seasoned rattlesnake of a gunslinger.
Yeah.
I was like, you were fucking lubing yourself up with Vaseline writing this, weren't you?
I was watching porn as I was watching this, yeah.
Or striptease.
The movie Striptease?
Yeah, where Burt Reynolds just like,
Demi Moore?
he's covered in Vaseline. I can feel it in my toes because he's wearing cowboy boots walking through his hotel.
It's been a long time since I've seen that film.
Yeah. Jay apparently watched it at work today. Cobb Vanth seems to be a dusty, slick, well-seasoned rattlesnake of a gunslinger, but it's apparent he's not the Bane of Chad. See what I did there, guys?
I see what you did.
Okay, you're welcome. It seemed during the last episode that he was a bit distracted by his sense of duty to Deputy Dipshit during his high noon standoff. He cleared leather but took one to the shoulder, which makes me think Chad was rushed in his shot and didn't get the kill shot he was aiming for. Which leads me to pose the following question. Even Steven, Bane versus Vanth, showdown, no distractions, no holes barred. Who wins?
I think Cobb's going to get his redemption.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think he's going to kill?
I think there was a reason why they showed how fucking fast he was against the Pikes in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't get one off because he's distracted.
So, Matt, you go ahead.
I don't know if Cobb's going to get him in the end. I think Boba might just because of that rivalry.
Yeah.
I think they're going to have the standoff at some point. And maybe it doesn't end with one of them dying, but I feel like those two are going to go head to head. But I see what you're saying about Cobb.
I don't think you kill him. I don't think you kill. Like you just introduced him. You're not going to kill him unless there's some sort of like timeline issue where they can go back and do some previous stuff with him. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Well, this is as far as we've been in the show, knowing of his existence, right? So they never mentioned him in the sequel. So yeah, it could come to his death. But I think the way that Favloni's been like curating all of the characters and building them up, except for Boba, I just see Cobb Vanth killing him.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, I was looking it up. Somebody made a reference to his age.
Yeah, I was wondering how old he was.
Cad. So Cad is like 70 years old.
Oh.
Now, he's a Duros, or however you
Yes.
say that. I don't know how long they live. I don't know if they've got expanded life expectancy or whatever it is, but maybe he doesn't. Maybe he just gets better with age. I'm not sure. But I will say that our boy Cobb, did taking off the armor make him older? He looked like he's worn out.
Yeah, he looks like maybe he's surviving cancer.
Yeah, there's something going on there. Like his kind of like John Wayne style lean to the side thing looked less like like a swagger and more like I think he needs to sit down.
Well, he looks like he's lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
He does look a bit old. He does have he looks like Raylan Givens' Peepaw from Justified.
I wonder, is he shooting? That show's coming back. I wonder if he's shooting something right now and he just like
Heroin more than likely.
Yeah, okay.
The doctor prescribed it to battle off the leukemia.
Yeah, he just looks haggard.
He does, but man, I was really impressed with. So as soon as I seen Cad Bane walking in from the desert, I'm like, I got a pit in my stomach because I really like Cobb Vanth's character in this. Like, it really reminded me of like Raylan Givens from Justified, obviously.
Oh yeah,
like he just kind of channeled
he
that.
just spoke like him, yeah,
quite a bit, and he's got this sense of like cockiness about him. And I was like, man, this is a fucking badass sheriff of Nottingham or whatever town he's in. But it was really Freetown. Yeah, which they changed the name of that earlier. That's interesting.
Formerly Mos Pelgo.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, I was like, oh no, please don't kill him. And then like he took one to the shoulder. He's gonna be all right. Like obviously.
Gotta be.
yeah. I have some speculation after the chit chat about what will happen.
Okay.
So all told, I don't know. I would have a tough time saying who's faster. I think it's possible we find out, but certainly he was distracted. So it wasn't a fair shot.
I think even Steven Cad Bane would take him, though, to be honest with you. He's just so experienced. And he's just like a small town. Who knows? Who knows what Cobb Vanth's backstory is, but
I'm sure somebody does.
Just not us.
So he's their average lifespan is about the same as a human.
Oh, well, then he's old.
They're an adult between 15 and 35. Middle age years is 36 to 49. Old, 50 to 69. Venerable.
Vulnerable.
Yep.
Okay.
70 plus years.
Okay. But he's still got it. Still got those reflexes.
Mm-hmm.
It's the NOS that he's injecting into his neck. Cheekbones.
That's how he was faster.
Don't give away the FACPAtoid.
He's huffing.
Huffing markers. Just markers in there.
We have no news. I
that's
looked
sad.
around, scoured, and there was nothing really worth calling out. I figured let's just get into the Book of Boba Fett if you're ready.
I am ready.
Me
So
as well.
if you harken back a couple weeks, someone had this genius take. I think that's where you're going to see Chapter 6 that Filoni wrote. I don't know if he directed, but probably the Pikes are going to be like gathering their crew together, and they're going to be like, oh, and who did they hire? Chad.
So you think Cad Bane is
Working for the Pikes.
okay?
And
That'd
he
be
comes in, and
fucking
that's when
awesome.
you get the Boba Chad fucking showdown.
Ooh. I like where your head's at, man. That's good. Well done, sir.
Tooting my own horn there.
Man.
Now listen, I know a lot of people had this take. I was not the only one, but I got to pat myself on the back a little bit.
I think both of you guys said we would get no Grogu and no Luke as well. And
yeah, we nailed that.
I got here in red. I've got no more guesses. Always wrong. Favloni is playing by their own rules. I'm fucking done with this.
I think I called it. I said I think we'll see Grogu and Luke. I said both.
You nailed that. Do you have audio supporting
I was
that,
gonna say,
or-
would you pull the clip for me, Matt?
I can't fucking
an Andy.
believe it though, because like you don't expect it, right? And then they just keep throwing everything in this episode, and I'm just like, holy shit.
Yeah, we should expect it all by now. Like it's one of those where you're almost like, I don't know, is fucking Lando gonna walk on the set? Like
Yeah.
it might as well.
The whole time. So I don't know if this is gonna get you guys like it got me, but I started busting up laughing on the montage of him running through the jungle with Grogu and the Walmart backpack behind him, the denim backpack.
Yeah.
But every time he landed on a rock, I wanted him to do like the Ben Stiller fucking
He almost did on one of them.
from like Zoolander or whatever. He does that, or he does it from like Dodgeball. Joni loves Chachi, and then he runs off the fucking camera. Oh man, it was so fucking funny.
But 2 weeks before that audio I just played, we were speculating about this as well. Once we heard that Filoni was going to write this episode, we kind of expected Cad was going to show up. Mm-hmm. The only thing you had guessed that you thought, what's his name? Scott Eastwood was going to play him.
Yeah.
What would you would you guys have thought of what's his name, Sebastian Stan instead of the CGI Luke?
A week ago, I would have been like, I wouldn't be surprised if they phase into that at some point if they're going to keep using Luke. But now they've mastered the deep fake. They just got to get the fucking lips to work right with the
Pretty
voice.
close.
And
Pretty
it's,
close.
I mean, apparently, as long as Mark Hamill's alive, he's Luke Skywalker. So
The mouth is the only real off-putting thing, and it
Yeah.
actually looked better when he was outside. When it
Yeah.
was an interior shot, like especially in the end of Mandalorian, but also they've gotten better with it. Maybe that deepfake guy who fixed it that they hired, maybe he's the one who's responsible. But it looked really good.
Yeah,
I was really
it did.
surprised by how good it looked. There was like when he was on the side of the lake or whatever, watching him jump. He's looking back and forth. It looks totally real.
Right.
It's pretty impressive.
The voice was a little off too. I thought the voice was a little off, and I noticed they did a lot of shots of from behind him, focusing on Grogu, like you just hear his voice.
Yeah.
so you didn't see his mouth as much. I think they did that probably intentionally.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then in the end, and we can get to the Chad thing later, but I was going to call out, it is the voice. At first, I wasn't sure who the voice was. It's the guy who did him in
Yep.
Bad Batch and Clone Wars, Corey Burton,
Uh-huh.
who's also the guy who did Dooku and Zero the Hutt.
The Southern Gentleman.
But they used some sort of stuntman as like the actual
Right.
figure who bears a striking resemblance. I don't know how they found this guy. Like, I don't know what the casting call was. We need a guy with no nose, red eyes, and who's okay bluing himself.
Was that an Arrested Development joke?
Yeah, I blew myself. But there were so many big moments in this. I mean, not only do we get Chad and Cobb and R2 and Luke and Grogu and fucking Ahsoka,
Ahsoka.
we even get a cameo from Boba.
I was just going to say that. I mean, but Technically it's a cameo because there was not a speaking part.
No, he didn't say a word. He just kind of grimaced. He gave a little head nod to Mando. That was about it.
Did you? Because you're always looking for the news and stuff. Did you read at one point that, or maybe we talked about this, that he didn't want to say a lot of his lines?
Yeah, I shared it on the show a few weeks back.
Yeah,
there was an interview where he said he thought he spoke too much. He was trying to give some of his lines to Fennec.
Yeah.
He thought it made more sense for him to not be as vocal. I mean, they already made this show, so that interview came after the fact. Unless they all of a sudden went back and were like, okay, fine, Tamura, we're just going to go ahead and yank some of your speaking roles now if you said that shit out loud. I don't think that happened.
Who does the head nod better? Boba Fett from the original Empire where he does the head nod? Mm-hmm. Or Mando when he just did it? Or, Lando when he's undercover with the fucking chin strap and he gives the big one. The big up and down.
So yeah, Lando's is the way slow motion obvious one. Boba, old Boba, is like a kind of a slow one, but kind of suave, kind of cool.
Yeah.
And Mando, I don't know, Mando's is maybe a little more eager. So I would say Boba's is the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can agree. I kind of felt like he was trying to do the head nod, but he just didn't have his helmet on when he nodded back to Mando. He's like, he's like, doesn't work without your helmet.
I see you there in the darkness.
Bright teeth.
The Lando one is just the most ridiculous one ever. I mean, he could not be exaggerating it more. I am agreeing with you. I am in this plan with you, sir. You might as well have saluted him. Fuck.
Yeah.
Let's start with the cold intro. Unless you have any other overall thoughts.
Oh, no. Let's get into this.
All right. So, yeah, it doesn't take long. Once again, they're like, we're thinking, are we going to see Cobb? Right away again.
Yep.
But they show the Pikes out on Tatooine, again, with the ice cream maker. That thing is getting a lot of legs in these series.
Hey, they gave it a name. Did you catch that later?
They had done that before. A Cantono or something?
Yeah, it's a Cantono.
Cantono,
yeah.
okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had named it, I think... Maybe in season 2 of Mando or something, somebody brought it up.
Mister, you forgot your Cantono.
Right? Oh, God.
Anybody? Untouchables with the briefcase at the beginning?
Oh, right. Well, I was going to say it felt very much like a Godfather-esque thing, but you're right, the Untouchables thing, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
That's where she comes walking out, little girl. Mister, you forgot your briefcase. Boom.
Kaboom. Yeah.
Explodes.
The Pikes, it looks like they're doing some sort of pick-up-drop thing with somebody we don't know who, and then that's when our boy Cobb shows up and is like, why don't you fucking get the fuck out of here? This is my territory. And he uses that same line he used for Mando, right? Around here I tell people what to do. Something
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say the think it through. He says that twice too.
Yes, he does.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, this guy knows. He's like, did it seem like he shot 2 of them with one blast?
Yes. There were 2
I watched
shots.
it again.
I did too.
He hits both.
Yep. With one
It's
shot.
just really fast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, badass.
Yeah.
So yeah, they got their ice cream machine filled with gold, copper coins, whatever, and then they got their spice in their hookah box.
Cigar box.
Yeah, their cigar box. And then like he kills 2 of them, leaves one to live.
You're the smart one.
He takes off, and then he just dumps the spice. Like, what's the point of dumping the spice, man? Keep it. He can buy a whole new world.
But he doesn't want to keep the spice. This is a morality thing of his. He doesn't want anybody getting their hands on that spice. He wants to get rid of that drug trade. Not to mention, although it looks like he's been taking spice, but not to mention, where'd he park? Where'd he come from?
Oh, he just walked out there.
It happens later with Cad. We'll get into that.
It was a patrol.
He's just out there walking the desert.
That's true.
That's why he looks so fucking ragged. He's dehydrated.
Yeah.
So you think when that guy drove off, he's like, wait a minute, I was going to take you. Can you give me a ride? Can you drop me off?
I like what I don't know. What's he say? I don't know what arrangements you have with the authorities in Mos Espa. And let's be honest, in Mos Eisley, anything goes. Yeah. But out here, I'm the one that tells folks what to do. I just love the way he talks.
Yep. And he basically is telling him, go tell your bosses no slinging spice out here, or you won't come back. You'll disappear.
Wonder how they use the spice. Do you think they snort it?
You're saying, do you think, how did they do it?
Yeah, how does one use spice? Is it like,
That's a good question. I don't know if you snort it or if you shoot it.
No, I'm going to have to look it up. But I feel like they've never actually said. No,
rub it on your gums?
Wasn't there, didn't we see something, was it in... was it Bad Batch
Mix it
something
in your
recently? There was there was a
Dave Chappelle.
usage of the spice that we saw.
We saw somebody use it?
I thought so. Like they poured it in their tea or some shit. I'm going to make something up because right now all of our listeners who know 100% of Star Wars are telling us what they do with it.
The only thing I could think of is when they blow it in Boba's face, but I don't know that was spice. When he hallucinates and the gecko goes up his nose. But I don't know that was necessarily spice.
That was dried bantha poop.
Yeah.
Ground up into a powder.
Yeah, so then you get, hey, and then we're into the episode, which,
Fucking love that theme song.
Fucking spit.
The title made you think, I guess at some point you just kind of go, oh, Cobb or something. Like you're not even really thinking about it. And
Right.
then later on, it's like, oh, of course. Like the
Yes.
whole episode's going along and you didn't think about the fact that there's supposed to be a stranger coming out of the desert. We go back to Mando via the crotch cam in the cockpit. It is a cockpit.
It is.
Hey-oh.
And he's heading to this lush Earth-like planet that we don't know what it is, looking for his homie. And that's when he picks up the signal. You see the antenna stick up. I assume when you saw the antenna
Right.
stick up, you're like, fucking. I was like,
Yep.
Yeah, R2.
Well, and I was like, okay, they're gonna show R2 and something's gonna happen, but they're not gonna show Luke. Like and it's not like I'm trying to prove I have doubts. Like right, like I'm just like, well, they're not gonna show him. And then when they do, I'm so fucking excited.
he's got his hair looks hilarious because it looks like a wig or something.
Luke's?
It's a little bit off. Yeah, it's a little bit off, but that's okay. But yeah, just kind of, it was one of those where you just sit back and go, they're gonna, there's a lot of that. Like if somebody was watching me, if I had a reaction video on YouTube, it would just be a lot of me going, but they're not gonna, are they really?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot. There was a lot of like just like jaw dropping in this episode. I have like exclamation points every time someone comes up. I'm like, R2, Luke,
Yeah.
Grogu, Ahsoka. Wow.
So he lands and he tells R2, I'm looking for Grogu and Luke. So R2 starts leading him to this construction site of the Jedi Academy that Luke's working on. That scene when he first is walking through the woods and he sees that ant droid come over the top with the thing. The shot of Mando who stops and looks I was fucking laughing out loud because it looks like he looks at it like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
He's like so confused.
He hates
And then
droids.
R2 is like, get over here, man. Come on.
When I first saw what they were building, I thought of immediately Episode 8 when they're on that fucking island. I thought of that, like for some reason.
Similar.
Right, like the same landscape. almost.
Akachatu?
Yeah, that one where he's drinking
Octo?
the fucking
Yeah, that's what I said.
the milk or whatever. That one.
Well, and I mean, this is meant to be the place that gets destroyed by Kylo, by Ben, right?
Yeah, that's gonna be the one that we see. Luke places his hand on R2 with the flames and the whole build. Remember, like there's
Yeah.
a vision. She has, or Kyle. Or
That's it. Yeah.
She has a vision of it, right?
Yes. Ray.
That's her.
That's her name.
Yep. We're on point today.
We are fucking firing on all cylinders.
But then R2 talks to the droid and then just shuts down.
I know.
What the fuck? He's just like, I'm done talking to you.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm not going to sit here and
He's like,
chit chat with you.
Well, where is that? Is that a bench?
That was the comedic line of the show.
I fucking laughed.
Because he's like trying to get all these questions answered. He's like, hey, anybody? Is that a bench?
R2's like, I really didn't get a good charge on my battery. You got a USB port in that helmet?
Yeah.
Gotta go power save mode here.
And then he's just like, well, all right, I guess I'll sit down. Just wait. What the hell? And then, then they show Grogu and Luke meditating. But like any 5-year-old, Grogu just can't stay focused. He's just constantly looking around, looking for frogs to eat. And then he starts, levitating one toward his mouth. And that's when Luke... I love the flex by Luke. You want to see something that you could learn if you'd actually fucking pay attention?
Yeah.
Watch
Yep.
this.
All of the frogs.
All of the frogs. you
He's
can
really getting his. He's really finding his own as a teacher.
Yeah.
As a Jedi master. Which
Yeah.
I don't think he's fucking qualified to be a teacher. To be honest with you, like he just
Who else
comes.
is gonna do it though?
He comes back to fucking watch Yoda die, and Yoda's like, you know what? I got nothing left to give you because I'm about ready to die here. So yeah, Jedi master, you're good.
Well,
You've
we
learned all you
don't, we
can
don't know when Luke gets the books, right?
We don't, I don't think. But
No.
also, you could tell he's struggling with this. I was thinking about it in the fact that scene we see in The Rise of Skywalker of him training Leia, that I think was meant to be shortly after Return of the Jedi, right?
Yeah.
They were on Endor, weren't they?
I think so.
Wasn't it Endor, Yavin 4, Endor 4, something 4, right? It was like a different, I don't think it was Endor.
So they were on Endor, and yeah,
All right.
they were.
I'm gonna fucking prove you wrong here, bitch.
Go for it.
But yeah, so he's already tried to train Leia and then she quit. So is he just got is he gun shy about teaching or not kind of hasn't found his footing?
I think that they're writing that. That was a very subtle way to write. Like, because as you see Ahsoka leave, he kind of gives a little like, when am I going to see you? Like, don't leave me here alone with this kid. I don't know if I'm going to ruin him. Type of a vibe is what I got from it, right? So
Yeah.
when she takes off, she's like, well, maybe. She's like, possibly, and gives him the old fucking salute and may the force be with you. But
Yeah, he says, what am I supposed to do with him? And she's like, trust your instincts, and then walks out.
yeah, right, exactly. So,
So he clearly looks a little bit like, not confused, but just real gun shy about what he wants to do. He's not sure how to do it.
lacking the confidence to just use a firm hand. Spare
Well,
the
and
rod, save the
that-
child.
That's why all his training techniques are the same ones we've already seen. Him
Yeah.
get. So it's all the same. He's just taking what he was taught, passing it along.
Yeah, and he's not even making Grogu like do the obstacle courses. He's carrying him. In fucking Jedi or in Empire, it was fucking. He was carrying Yoda on his back.
He gets to the end. He's like, "Oh, right, you're the one who's supposed to be doing it."
You're supposed to carry me.
I was so confused.
No wonder they're all fucked up and they don't know what the hell they're doing, and then they burn the temple down. Go ahead.
I do like that he goes, "Let's go for a walk," and my immediate reaction is, "How long is this walk gonna take?" And then you see him doing the little float.
That's fucking
trick.
awesome.
Yeah, the float
He's
trick.
pushing him
Levitate.
with the Force.
I was
my God, that was great.
I was expecting a Cave of Wonders scene, where Luke goes down and sees the
Oh,
vision.
right.
We didn't get that.
I don't think he's ready for that yet. You're gonna scare the shit out of that little thing.
And then he tells him about Yoda. He's like, you remind me of somebody I know, and says how he spoke in riddles and all that kind of thing.
Yep.
And then that's when we get this scene, which he's like, "Have you heard anyone talk like that back home? Do you remember back home?" And does the little Vulcan mind trick on him.
Yep.
Then we see part of Order 66. It was like,
Yeah.
holy shit. The second that started going back and you heard like the blasts, you're
Yes.
like, "Oh, this is it. They're going to show this." That was pretty sweet.
And he's like just sitting there laying in his little something. And he's got a blanket over his lap, and he's just witnessing two Padawans and a Jedi, full-on Jedi. Or no, two Jedi and a Padawan, it looked like.
I think
Full-on trying to defend off against the clones.
Yep.
Yeah. And so we still don't know who saved him.
I think that there's a lot of guesses there, but we can do that. We can go to
Did you see
speculation.
Did you see the
Okay.
fucking clones double tap the Jedi on the ground? Like they walk up to him and just
Yep, got him again.
Fucking hits
Yeah.
Oh,
him.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, fucking
Oh,
hits
vicious.
him, nails him a couple more times just for good.
Clearly the chip works on those guys.
No shit. No crosshairs in their midst.
Yeah, so then he has that flashback, and then he comes to, and
Luke says, "Welcome back."
yeah, welcome back. You've been out for a while. It's tomorrow. But no, he's like, the galaxy's dangerous, and I need to train you
Yes.
to protect yourself. He's trying to kind of show him you need to be motivated here, because I think he probably feels like Grogu's kind of half-assing it.
I want to know how much time has passed between like when Luke took him and then brought him to the planet, and then Mando shows up, because it seems like this is day one of Luke and Grogu training and having a conversation.
It does. Mm-hmm. Or he is really taking his time, finding a place or setting
Yeah, I
up or
think-
whatever.
yeah.
Maybe it took a while to find the place. But when Mando is looking at him, it seems like it's been a long time for him, because he's, about to cry looking at him.
He also had to commission all those spider droids to build the fucking.
He had to go find those.
It's amazing that there's rocks scattered all across the planet that'll conveniently all just fit together into a big dome.
Where's fucking 3PO's ass?
Who cares?
Well, I don't, but I just say it because like we've seen R2 twice, and usually they come as a package. So where's his
3PO
ass?
is probably with Leia and the
Oh
New
yeah,
Republic.
true. That's
Something
right.
like that,
Yeah,
I would guess.
we're there where Leia's still alive. Yeah.
Maybe he's getting the red arm right now.
Mm.
You
Yeah.
probably don't recognize me with the red arm. Oh, silly line. So then Mando's napping, hears a stirring, and fucking Ahsoka shows up. I'm like, what? Like,
I
I didn't
know.
think we were going to see her until her
I know.
show.
Yeah, and quit watching him sleep, you creeper.
Oh, she was all. She's like 10 more seconds. I'd have been on your helmet.
Did you know?
I was almost there.
Giving you that twilight.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice her little line? She's like, "I'm just an old friend of the family."
Right.
I
Yes.
started busting up laughing at that one.
I like that one. And then later when she has that scene with Luke, it took me like 20 seconds before I was like, holy shit, like the moment for her to this, her mentor and best friend or whatever you want to say
Right.
for forever. And now she's like hanging out with his son. It must be weird. And I wonder how much he shared with her.
Also, like, you forget that Darth Vader was a good guy at the end. Like, because she's like, "You're so much like your dad." And I've been like, "Whoa, bitch." Like, he fucking
What are you
destroyed the
saying?
Jedi Order.
Well, she only
And then
really
she's like-
knew Anakin. She only knew as like good, I guess, right? Because that's what she always sees.
She
in
must
him.
have
Well,
found out.
but I think that was in reference to what he said. He said, Grogu's, I'm worried his heart's not in it. And she said, like your father.
But she said, "You're so much like your father," didn't she?
Is that what she said? I have to look
Yeah,
again.
no,
'cause
she was like giving him a compliment.
Okay. I thought she was almost saying it like Luke, like Anakin's heart wasn't into the Jedi Order or something like that. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, if anyone's is, it's her heart's not in it.
That's true. Because she left.
Yep.
Because they double crossed her.
Right. True.
I wonder if his heart is in it. And she says, so much like your father. But I think she is referring to him. You're right.
Say that again one more time. What was that?
Right.
I was right.
You're right.
I just need you to have some. I
Do
need
you want
you
to pull the audio back?
I was gonna say you gotta have some audio for next episode.
I'm not that fancy.
It's weird. You're right, but you're on the left.
What's that?
Huh?
Watch yourself.
So we get the reunion with R2 as well, which was cool to see her interacting with R2 because she's got a huge, long history with R2 also.
That's true.
So that was kind of fun. And yeah, she basically explains to Dan, Luke's building a school here. Grogu is going to be the first student. So he's like, I kind of want to see him. So she leads him to this clearing. And that shot behind them, Mando and Ahsoka in the foreground and Luke and Grogu up on the hill, beautiful shot.
Yeah.
Like having all of them in that
Looks
shot.
like a Thomas Kincaid painting.
It was. Yeah.
keeps holding his little handkerchief out. I brought something for him. And she's like, get that shit out of here.
I brought these brownies from Tatooine. They're almost bad.
The Jawas made them.
Just let me bring him to the kid. I like how she's like, well, if you have to go see him, okay. He just walks away.
And then, so then she's kind of like giving him you're going to set him back in his training. If you get in here, he's supposed to not have any attachments.
He really misses you, but...
Yeah, you're really important to him, but if seeing you right now really...
It would ruin everything that they're
really wreck his
trying to
flow.
It's like an alcoholic dad that loses custody of his kid, and then he wants to pop back in and visit the kid once on every Wednesday after school.
I'm still his father.
Every time he comes back from seeing you, he's a mess.
Yeah.
Don't make me slap you, Ahsoka.
He was in a really good place, and then you came back. You just had to come back.
Yeah.
Do you think, because I'm going to forget most of my speculation, so I'm going to throw this one in now. So he's supposed to be the first student of the academy, right? And then, motherfucker, he's given an option at the end, but we know that Ben was his first student. So does that already answer the question that he leaves?
Do we know that Ben was his first student?
Wasn't it said in one of the movies that Ben was his first student?
I didn't know that he was his first student. I just thought he was a student.
Okay.
I might be wrong, but I don't think it was his first.
Hey, 60% I'm going with here, so I'm just...
Pull the audio.
I'm looking for you, yeah.
God, I got a lot of audio clips to pull.
Matt, go back, comb the series, comb episode 7.
Can you guys hold on for 20 minutes? I'm going to go right back. I'll be right back. And then he keeps calling him a foundling. She's like, are you sure he's not a Padawan?
He's really holding on to that he's going to be his little foundling Mandalorian type thing.
I think that feels like the connection.
Technically, it was Leia Organa.
Was his first student?
Yeah.
He could definitely use a jetpack, though, with his mobility issues.
He could, for sure. Because, I mean, is he going to grow? Is he going to grow out of that chainmail he gets? I'm worried about
Is Grogu going to grow?
Well, you never saw Yoda moving quick until he fought Dooku, right? And so
I know, but Grogu was bigger. Or, I mean, Yoda was bigger, excuse me. I'm wondering if Grogu's going to grow.
Right, but I'm just going to say, but I don't know if all the mobility we've seen of Yoda was because of his old age. He just wasn't moving as much anymore. Then when he fought Dooku, he was empowered by the Force.
Right.
Right. But did he at one point in time run around like a little fucking cheetah?
I don't know the answer to that.
Was he winning track races? I feel like he was probably...
Steve Prefontaine of the fucking Star Wars universe.
I feel like he was probably a bit more mobile in his 300 to 450 years. He's probably pretty
Was he 500 or something?
He was 900 when he died.
900.
How old are you? 900 years. Something like that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it was right.
Yeah, shockingly, triple jump guy. Yoda.
That's funny. I've been watching a lot of triple jumps on my Facebook.
I believe it.
It's popping in.
But then you get the shot of Grogu watching Din fly away, pulling at the heartstrings there. He's like,
reaching for him.
That his daddy's leaving.
We've all been there.
We've all been there. Dad, come back. I'll do better this time.
Yeah. Stop smoking.
Promise I'll never ask for another supersized fry again.
It's going to kill you. So Luke kicks up the training, and this is where we get all, like I said, he's pulling out all the tricks.
Yep.
First he's trying to get him to jump, which was a fun little...
Eye of the tiger.
Oh, they should have done that. They should have had...
It's probably already on YouTube. Someone put it up.
I was watching
the
blaster remote scene where he shoots him and he makes that little squeal and he
that's
flies
funny.
back.
Well, he sneezes, doesn't he?
Yeah, he sneezes,
And then he
too.
goes... I was like, what's that?
I had to call Georgia and my daughter to have her look at it because she fucking loves Grogu.
Uh-huh.
She laughed.
Oh, there's a falling down sneezing Yoda coming Christmas of 2022.
Well, you mentioned the running and the flips he's doing, which is just like Dagobah. And then he does that weird thing where was Grogu balancing in the air and levitating when he was doing when Luke was doing the lightsaber?
He was balancing on one leg on bamboo.
He's like, watch this.
Yeah. Total. Another flex.
He's flexing for sure.
He starts shadow sabering.
He's like, you think that's cool? You can. He's like, first he flexes on frogs. He's like, then maybe one day you'll be able to do this.
Yeah.
I wanted all the bamboo to like to stop the scene, and then all the bamboo just goes falls over.
I think the point of him doing that was to show him oh look, lightsaber, this is badass. And then when he offers it to him, he knows what it is, right?
Yeah. He's trying to incentivize him a bit to follow the Jedi path.
And then he's always like, get up, always get back up. Like he's just being like a motivational little speaker. I was like, okay, Luke, Give it to him.
He's got a lot of that coach speak going on in this episode. But you're right. When he gets zapped, that was pretty funny. And then all of a sudden, it was like Chucky in Child's Play. This stuffed animal's flying all over the place. When he started jumping around, I was like,
I thought
they did a pretty good job, but because it's hard to pull off.
he looked like he was running with trauma. Like this thing starts shooting at him and he's like, "Woo!" He's like fucking running and shit. And I'm like, this poor little child was just given a flashback to almost being murdered. And then his master's like, hey, this ball full of lasers is just going to chase you through the river.
You'll thank me someday for saying that.
And he's over there like they're culminating, Ahsoka and him are having the conversation. She's getting ready to leave, and you shoot to fucking Grogu, and he's napping on the rocks.
Yeah.
Like he's sunbathing, like he's a lizard.
Well, he gets worn out every time he uses
Wiped out.
the
Yeah,
lizard.
Sauced in the lizard. Yeah. I think that's kind of the end of this sequence,
yeah,
right?
They
Yeah.
cut to the all-employee meeting at Jabba's palace,
Yeah, first Mando flies in and parks in the garage.
the back door.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
You guys never noticed that the Naboo starfighter doesn't have any landing gear? That thing just like kind of like sets.
Right.
It was interesting.
I noticed that when he landed it in the last episode. It just lands on the motors of the wing, right? It just kind of goof.
Does it? Oh, okay. I
Yeah, it
didn't
just
notice
sits
that.
there.
But yeah, Fennec's basically given a briefing to, Boba, Black Chrysanthemum, the mods, the street kids, on all the Pike movements and how they're gathering soldiers and setting up all over Mos Espa and how the three families are laying low and just staying out of the way. So it sounds what we learn in a minute. They got paid off to just stay out of it.
Right.
And then Fennec's like, we need foot soldiers. And that's when Mando's like, I got an idea.
I can probably help you.
Yeah. And were you immediately like, Jawas? And then they showed the Jawas and you're like, he's going to get Jawas.
That was the most ridiculous thing. Like he's just fucking
head?
flying by. He like circles the
They're
Jawas.
sporting a new
and they're
fucking
like,
hut ornament.
they're waving at him like, hey, we know you.
I'm almost positive you can hear one of them go, kick ass. Like they see him fly by in that ship. And they're like, we know that guy. That's a badass ship. But yeah, they got the head of the skeleton
The
of
skull of the
crate
crate dragon. Yeah, just like strapped on there like a hood ornament.
Did you guys notice the rib cage in the episode later?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's in the bar.
Yeah, you guys both caught that? Nice.
Yeah, because it's good for the structure, holds up the roof as well.
Yeah.
But also a little homage to the work they did. I like that. I like that touch.
It really adds to it really ties the bar together. Ambiance.
It's now a museum.
Oh, okay.
Well, and that's where we meet the overzealous deputy who's telling Mando, you gotta park that thing out in the flats, man. And he's like, no, man, I don't got time for this. I need to talk to Cobb.
What did I say? Deputy douchebag? I don't remember. He deputy dipshit.
Yeah.
He fucking seems like he was hall monitor in school for sure.
Oh, yeah.
That guy needs to get his ass kicked. Well, he gets his just
I
desserts.
fucking love when he comes out and he's like, I got this. And then the way that Cobb Vanth just watched him walk behind him. And then he kind of smiles and then walks up to...
Yeah, well, the line he delivers there,
He's new.
He goes, he's new, still a little jumpy. Is that a Naboo starfighter?
Yep. The best line in the show is like, well, I haven't seen you since you got rid of the armor. How you been doing? How have you been or something? He's like, I've been careful.
More careful.
Yeah, more careful.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great response.
Well, and so funny thing about that deputy, by the way, he is
Toro Calican's brother.
he kind of looks like it. Yeah. I mean, shit, they probably hang.
That family isn't doing so well with its lineage.
The Calicans are like the Arquettes. They're like all over Tatooine.
But that guy is the full armor body double for Boba Fett. He's a stuntman.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that funny? So he's talking to, he goes, like, let me go buy you a drink. They go inside and he's basically laying it all out there that, you need help. The Pikes are coming. The whole planet's in jeopardy. And he's like, man, these people took a beating with that crate dragon. We're on tough times. I don't know if we can do that.
And that old Leatherface at the bar, man, that guy can shut the fuck up.
Freetown.
Yeah, well,
Podawan.
he's like, it's Freetown now. But fucking Cobb Vanth called it Mos Pelgo at the beginning of the fucking episode.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Was it a recent change?
Like,
in
we
name?
just changed the name. Oh, okay.
Just now. Okay, why don't you just go?
Wasn't it called Freetown in the Aftermath
In the
books?
Aftermath books, it was, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, he keeps butting in. Sounds like a city folk fight. Why don't you just go back to tending your crops? Shut your mouth.
Wash your glass, and if I order a whiskey, talk.
So Cobb is like not going to do it, and then Mando is basically like, I need you to do me a favor. And I think Cobb also realizes he's right. This is going to come to our doorstep at some point. So I'll see what I can do. And that's when Mando leaves, and he tells the Weequay guy, the bartender, he's like, hey, get everybody together. We need to I'm gonna throw it all out there and see
Right.
what
They're gonna they're gonna want to hear what I have to say.
He says, "I need every swinging dick in town right now."
That's what he says.
That's what he said.
Yep.
That's a direct quote. Every man, woman, and child of fighting age.
Yeah.
And when the wind chimes blow and you see him in the
knew it
distance,
right away.
Yep.
because it's a slow buildup of him walking in. Because again, maybe he followed the rules and parked out in the flats. That's why it took him so long to get.
Sounds like he did.
Yeah. Fucking Cad Bane can read a fucking sign. He doesn't
exactly.
he doesn't ignore parking signs.
With those big old eyeballs, he better be able to read.
Don't mind parking out here in the flats.
Didn't the slow build kind of give you time to think, what's he gonna look like? Are they gonna pull this off? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like I kept thinking, like, oh, what's he gonna look like? Because we had talked about that a lot in previous weeks and months. Where how would you pull that off in live action?
Yes.
He really saunters into town too, and he's eyes on the path. I'll have to give him credit for that. Really fucking careful where he steps.
That's
he doesn't
true.
doesn't look up above the brim of his hat.
Well,
the whole
sometimes
time.
them sand, they got, they're bumpy.
Yeah.
Twist an old man ankle real quick on those
70.
things.
He's not as
Yeah,
surprised he
yeah.
was in his 50s.
Well, and he made a dramatic entrance in Bad Batch. He likes to make a dramatic entrance. So
He does.
I think he's like, I'm not going to show my eyes right away. Then I'll make him shit.
I love how like a western, Cobb walks out to the middle of the road. He kind of enters the trail, and then you see like the kid open the window and look in like a western. All of a sudden, people are like, "What's gonna happen?"
Yeah, right.
He's got a real panache for making an entrance.
There we go.
I thought they did a good job.
Oh man,
It's tough to pull that off. I mean, looking at him in animation and then thinking, God, I mean, the people who were tasked with that must have been like, oh, this is going to be a tough one.
I think that they did a great job because he was actually like menacing.
Yeah.
Those teeth and the way. I mean, it
teeth
looked
look
real.
great,
It
the
was,
eyes
it was
look
a
great.
Job well done.
And his voice, too, was
Yep.
fucking spot on.
Yes.
Like, I would be careful where I was sticking my nose if I were you.
When he said that, my younger son blurted out, "You don't even have a nose."
He didn't. So fucking smooth spot in his
What's he
face.
say? Is that just a piece of advice or is that a threat or something?
Right.
It's the way-
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to intimidate Raylan Givens in his own turf.
No, hell no. No, these are his sands.
Yeah. These are his 6 buildings.
This is my free town.
So he demands they stay out of the issue with Boba and that the Pikes will pay him for it.
Mm-hmm.
And Cobb tells him, at some point goes, Spice Runner's got to get out of Tatooine. Like, we've seen enough violence here. And that's when he says, you shouldn't have given up your armor. And then shows the weapon. And it was a great slow build. And of course, the whole time the deputy's going to fuck it up. Because you
Right.
watch him creeping up. You see him getting like trigger happy and like
Yep.
freaking out and everything. And you
I'm
can
gonna
see,
get him.
of course.
I'm gonna get him.
Yeah, and you can see the whole time through the whole conversation, all the way up to the shooting starts. Cobb is clearly like, "Deputy, would you back the fuck up? I got enough to deal with here without you."
Well, he's annoyed. He's annoyed by him.
super distracted.
Mhm.
You can tell.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
So this is where he takes one to the shoulder, and then Deputy takes about 6 or 7 between the head, chest, and dick.
Do you know why the fucking dumb deputy couldn't get his gun out?
Still strapped in the holster?
Yes. If you go back and look, the thing is buttoned.
Because he was
the holster
nervous.
strapped.
Yeah.
Hey, dumb.
Dipshit.
Because if you watch again, you're like, how did he have time to shoot Cobb and then unload on the guy? And the guy still didn't have his gun out. I was like, okay, he's slow. He's new. Then I looked back the second time I watched it. And I was like, he couldn't even get the damn thing out.
Yeah, because Cobb got his shot off, right?
No.
I think he got his gun out, but his shot didn't go
Oh, I
off.
thought. Okay.
Yeah, so I thought they were trying to do that to illustrate just how much faster those two were than the average person, like the layman. But you said he had his fucking gun buttoned in. I was like, oh, that makes
Yeah,
makes
if you
sense.
see it again, you'll see it because they show a
There's
shot
a
from
shot
behind
from
him,
behind, right on the
and
gun
you can
in his hand.
yeah, and you can see the button
Yep.
it clicked in. Yeah.
What if we fucking like just spotted a big blooper? And he was supposed to have it unbuttoned. Heard it first on Fact.
Well, they got rid of within a week. They got rid of Mr. Jeans Man that was in the background.
Oh,
So-
like you're gonna go back in a week and it's gonna be unstrapped.
Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, they'll just erase the button.
I mean, that guy's still around. He plays the body double, so he's
Yeah.
still around.
Yeah, he's still got a job.
Yeah. So then he just says, tells the townspeople, if you don't interfere with the spice business, you won't be harmed.
Yep.
Chad Bane out.
As
And
long,
now-
as long as we're allowed to run Spice, everything is still good. But
Now comes the low point of the episode
Oh,
where
Cole,
if
I
something
felt for ya.
happened, if
Well, hold on,
something
is-
happened to her,
is he dead?
Oh, Cobb?
Yeah.
No.
no, shoulder. They got they were talking, get
Just-
the med packs.
Just bringing
blah,
up
blah, blah.
conversation.
Yeah, if you have the captions up, you can tell what they're actually saying. They're saying, get the med packs. Is he okay? Like, they're saying all that stuff. And clearly, he got shot in the shoulder. He's got to come back.
He's going in the flashback back to tank. I'm
Oh.
calling it right now.
Oh, interesting. That's a good call. It
Yep.
cures all ills.
Yep, that's what.
How do you
gets
think
him-
it is with hangovers? The back
Well,
to tank.
That's why Boba's in it every night. So I really thought my life would turn out differently. Glug, glug, glug.
It's a mixed bag. It's a double-edged sword because when you get in the back to tank to cure your hangover, you relive all the stupid shit you said the night before.
With clarity. With clarity. Oops. It's like Jim Carrey in Dumb and Dumber. I've had better. Oh,
That's liar.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah. What if he gets in there and he's like, was there a Grimorin in here? Because this stinks.
It's the last time you changed the water in this thing.
It's supposed to drain out every time, but
The
maybe we're
fucking
getting
camera
lazy.
pans over, and Black Chrysanthemum's just like, he's dripping wet.
Circle the drain. It's all.
Yeah, he just got out of there.
Liquid plumber in here.
Grimorin squatting on the top of the tank, gives it a glass bottom boat while he's in there. Oh, please stop. No, I'm trying to heal.
Can't wipe that memory out.
Or the glass clean, apparently.
So yeah, I felt for you, Cole, because I hope you got in one more good wank for Garza Fwip before the scene. Because
Yeah, what was this about,
I was
man?
flapping the flip for sure. Fapping the flip.
You think they're gonna? It's one of those things where like they do in a TV show, and that's the cliffhanger, and then they go back and we'll see what they really do inside before it blows up. So like they make it look like they all died inside, but they didn't.
I think she's dead.
You think she's dead?
I think everybody inside is
The
dead.
sanctuary is dead. But did you notice who was not in the sanctuary?
Max Rebo.
That's right.
I call him the unsinkable Max Rebo.
Yep.
Because this man keeps getting out of fucking
The
danger.
rest of the Jizz Whalers are gonzo, though.
Oh yeah, they're all dead.
Yep.
They wailed their last jizz.
Yep, that's right.
You fucking guys with Max Rebo. Why would you even notice that? Both of you fucking were like, Max Rebo was not in there.
Because they did a fucking purposeful shot where they show the fucking droid playing the drums and then homeboy on whatever kind of saxophone thing that thing is.
Yep. Yeah. He already survived the barge. So you're like,
Yeah.
oh, now they got him. You know, he survived the barge. Now, nope, he wasn't there. So it made me think, is he out like taking a leak out back? Did he have the night off?
I want that from a certain point of skew video where just like it's just him in the alley and he hears an explosion. Like he's having a hard time taking a piss.
He got stage fright.
Yeah, the explosion
Stage
like
fright
really
saved
knocks
his
him
life.
free. He's like, oh,
My prostate's flaring up
Right.
like a tiki torch out here.
Oh my god.
and
that'd
then
be awesome.
that's when you learn that he's not even blue. That was just like from the infection. He turns a different color.
He's got a big old elephant dick on him, I bet.
Well, the other thing I thought is maybe he was in the can taking a shit, and the protection of the bathroom kept him from blowing up. Because I got to tell you, back in the day, my mom worked at this office. It was like an architect's office, and she wasn't there. It was like on a weekend, and they were doing work around there, and a gas leak happened and blew up the better part of the building, and there was a guy in the can taking a shit and survived.
Holy shit! Literally.
So maybe Rebo's in the can, and he hears that. He's like, "Did you hear something?"
I'd just like to be him and be like, what was that?
Your mom fucking like emailed you, told you that? She's like, hey, I bet he was in the can. That's why he's not dead.
Yeah.
That's like, good point, Mom. Remember
Bring
when
this
you
up on the show?
remember that guy who used to work in your office?
Well, that would be tough. That would be tough because she would be doing it from beyond the grave. Thanks a lot, Cole.
I didn't know
God
that.
damn it.
Oh, yours too. All right.
Yep. We got two motherless guys on the show.
My mom's
Just
alive.
had
I
to say
don't know.
something.
What do you got?
How's bragging camp?
We'll see what happens to Max Rebo, but it sounds like he might show up again.
Couple of Ezras on the show.
Couple of Ezras.
I miss my mom.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
then we
Not
go
for
to
you,
the
babe.
final scene, which is, really
God,
quickly
it's like
back
Lord
to
of the
the
Rings. It's not ending.
Well, yeah, I know, but really quickly back to the bomb. They're galvanizing the entire fucking planet against them, you know. So anybody who's going to be cautious about joining up the cause to fight the Pikes, they're just
Yes, right.
making them all jump in now.
Mm-hmm.
And so what they did to Cobb is going to make all those townspeople be like, yeah, we're fucking in. You know what I mean? So the Pikes are creating quite a resistance. Let's just say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're sparking their own resistance almost.
Yeah.
But are the Pikes really the powerhouse?
Fucking pikeys.
That's still a very good question. Cad's talking like they're paying him, but is there somebody else operating above them or whatever?
Maybe it's the Huts behind the scenes pulling strings.
I mean, there's separate syndicates though, so you wouldn't think they would be working for another syndicate.
That's true. That is true.
I know what you're thinking. You're thinking Crimson Dawn. I get it, and I'd love to see it. I don't know that those two would work in tandem in a situation like this.
I guess we need to find out what the importance is. Like, why did Tatooine become a a spice road, right? Like, what are they running there? Who's receiving it? Where's it going from there?
Why is it? Yeah, why is it important
Right.
for them?
It's just a little backwater shit of a planet. You think like maybe they're mining
Where everything happens.
right? No shit. Center of the Star Wars universe.
In Solo, I can't remember the line. Dryden Voss says something about our relationship with the Pikes is tenuous at best, or something like that. So there is some sort of relationship between Crimson Dawn and the Pikes. So perhaps, I don't know.
It all comes down to that spice.
Yeah, drugs. They bring us together.
Yep. They're healthy for everybody. Everyone should be on drugs.
Yeah. Back at the newly completed Jedi Schoolhouse, Luke is showing Grogu the Mithril or whatever it is, the fucking chainmail Frodo shirt.
Yeah, it was.
Don't you think when I saw that happen, I thought he's going to end up with that shirt at some point and they're going to fucking have the Frodo scene. They're going to have the scene where he takes a shot to the chest and they're going to be like, oh no, Grogu's dead. And then he's going to be like, nope, got my shirt on.
Yep. Yeah.
I can see that
the chainmail's for.
Yeah. Did you see somebody post that tweet today? And it was, the Michael Scott face where he's going like this. Like he's like,
yeah,
like cringing. They put that over Qui-Gon's face and said Qui-Gon, when he realized he could have worn chainmail under his robes. Oh, that's pretty good. So then that's where he offers him. It's like, here's the armor.
Mm-hmm.
You can take this, but then you're going to go back with Mando and you're forsaking the Jedi Order. Or you can take this lightsaber. By the way, this was Yoda's, which is pretty fucking sweet. I heard people complaining because they're like, in the comics, Yoda's lightsaber gets destroyed by fucking Emperor's right-hand man.
Palpatine? No.
Masameda. Is that his name?
Who the fuck is that?
The big horn dude. Palp's sidekick in all the prequels. He was always standing next to him.
And he always leaves with the guards.
Yeah.
Guards.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
apparently there's something in the comics about Yoda's lightsaber being destroyed, but it's like, hey, we're rewriting some things here.
Yeah.
Sorry about your comic.
Well, I think that he is going to, if he follows the same pattern, which Star Wars is famous for, their patterns and themes, right? So Luke has basically become Yoda to Grogu. Right. And now he's going to have to make a decision. He's going to do the same thing Luke did. I got to go save my friends. So he's going to leave his training to go save his friends.
Empire episode.
Yep.
I could see that.
Yep.
Because you feel like he's going to end up with both.
That's what I said. Why not both? If I would have been Grogu, I'd have grabbed the lightsaber and been like, yes, and then I would have walked over and put the chainmail on. I'm having both of these, but I choose the Jedi Order.
Never break eye contact, though.
Yeah, right.
Like it's a boss move, yeah.
Well, he's going to choose the chainmail, and as he's leaving, but how the fuck's he going to leave? Luke's going to have to be like, well, get in the backpack. I'll take you to him, right? And then, but he's going to give him the lightsaber. He's going to be like, well, you're going to need this.
I think so. There's no way he walks away with not having both of those things.
Do we see the famous shot from Return of the Jedi where Luke walks through the gate again and the fucking Gamorrean guard's just sitting there and he fucking waves him away, walks right in there, drops Grogu off, and then they're like, oh, want to stick around? We're about to go to war.
Could use you, pal.
Mm-hmm.
No hard feelings about the Rancor, right?
I don't think that Grogu is going to be strong enough to fucking really make much of a difference.
I want to see Grogu like when he sees, because has he seen Boba Fett's face? Has he seen his face? Okay.
No.
So
I don't think so.
That's where his next flashback is coming. Where like all of a sudden he sees his face and he looks like every fucking person that tried murdering him. And he's like, I came back to the wrong place.
That could
right. Good
be
point.
right now.
Yeah, you're a clone, man.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, because he wouldn't have seen his face because he was up on the rock when Boba lands and then gets taken. So
yes.
And then he's gone, and then Boba's not on the space station or whatever, on the starship when he gets rescued.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, that could be maybe we're predicting. Maybe I'm back. Maybe I'm back with my predictions.
Editing notes. Save this audio.
So unless Boba Fett does some fucking amazing,
Did you just call him Boba Fett? You didn't call him Boba Fett, did you?
I said Fett.
Okay.
Unless he, I don't fat shame, man. Okay.
PHAT.
I came from that camp. I'm very. Unless he like pulls it all together and does some fucking miraculous crazy shit and like, becomes the best fucking bounty hunter in the galaxy, like I've kind of like okay, just take us wherever the fuck you're gonna take us.
Yeah.
Pull us in whatever direction you're gonna pull us. I'm done trying to fucking save this series. Well, no, I'm not done trying to save this series. I've loved the last 2 episodes, but as a series as a whole, they fucking poo-pooed Boba Fett's character. Unless he fucking does a 360.
I don't think they poo-pooed it.
You mean a
I
180?
think it's against. It's not what we're expecting, right? But I like the character.
No, I want him
growth.
to come full circle to where he was in Empire. So all the way back. In a
All
full
the way
circle.
back.
So where he actually says something.
Fuck you, Matt.
I knew you were going to say that. Well, we'll get into this, I think, next week when we talk about kind of the storytelling style, because I want to see how they wrap it up.
Mhm.
But I've seen people make arguments about that this is a different type of storytelling and then maybe that's why they emphasize the book, because they're doing these like total tangent storylines because it's important for the overall story.
Right.
Even though
yes,
this is
yes.
meant to be about Boba Fett, they do these side chapters, interludes, whatever you want to call
It's
them.
an interlude, yeah.
And they and that's why they're doing it that way, because they still need to advance the story before that focuses on Mando in season 3. So those parts are important. So they just kind of did this little side deal for 2 episodes.
You're answering the email.
Oh, is there an email for that?
Something about the story or the episodes or.
Well, we'll
right?
get into that in a minute.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
Yes. So anyway, any other predictions as far as what you think we're going to see next going forward? Obviously, we think Cobb's going to survive. Probably show up at Fett's. Like, I'm ready. Let's fucking battle.
The 2 things I wrote down that we didn't cover is what we did. Cobb is still alive, obviously, but I think we're going to see Grogu talk. He'll say L word. He'll say something.
Ball.
Yeah.
Cheesy poofs.
He's going to say mama, and Dan's going to cry.
He's going to put on one of those fake breast apparatus to feed him the milk.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think like we talked about before, we're going to see the build up to the war, maybe the very, very, very beginning of it, maybe, but we're not going to see.
I don't know. I think there's going to be a pretty big fight because, like, we did this last season. We're like, well, they're not going to do whatever,
True.
and then they fucking just the whole episode. We're like, oh my god, they did everything. We were like, they're going to wait till next season.
I guess I should start raising my expectations.
Yeah, exactly. That's what because I was the same way, and I was like, all right, like all bets are off. Like we have an hour and a half next week probably, and they're just gonna fucking Mace Windu. Okay, let's go into that. Okay, so who saved Yoda? Right? Who's involved?
Grogu.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Grogu. I mean, everyone is like, it's got to be maybe Obi-Wan did it, or the other prediction I saw was
Jocasta knew.
yes.
It could have been Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan came back to, unless he found him in the temple somewhere.
Right,
hidden.
right. Well, as it was happening or something. But
No, because they came back afterwards.
I feel like
and
everything still
Yoda
has to
were the
tie
ones who
back
were cleaning
to
up, right?
What's that?
They had to reprogram the message.
Yeah,
And-
Yoda and Obi-Wan are the ones that come back to the temple and are cleaning house.
Yes.
Yeah, so it could have been him, but you would have, you
if he
didn't
was
see him.
hidden, right? Like if he was hidden.
Yeah. And then there's, I mean, like, look, they successfully hid Leia and Luke, so they could successfully hide another Padawan somewhere. But, like, who, where? I mean, that's a lot of the story is, like, who takes him? Who hides him? Where does he live? How does he get to Captain German Director Pants?
I would say Obi-Wan. I would say Obi-Wan and fucking Yoda both didn't know about Grogu because remember in Empire he said that boy was our last hope, and he's like, no, there's another, his sister, or they would have been like, nope, there's 2 more.
Right.
Because Grogu would, if they would have known about him.
Yeah.
And they didn't know about any of the other ones that got away. They didn't know about Kanan. They didn't know about Cal Kestis from the video game. They didn't know about, there's others out there that they didn't know about.
Yep.
I just think it's all gonna. There's still some point to Boba and him being orphaned, and we've seen those shots, and those shots have meant nothing so far.
Yeah, we talked about that last week, I think, where I was saying
I feel like it's gonna tie in somewhere.
it could. I still think it's possible that they were just showing that because of why he latched onto the Tuscans, why he felt abandoned. Sorry, Cole, and he was looking for, a family, and that's why the Tuscans taking him in was so meaningful for him.
Maybe Jango Fett did the thing where in Little Giants where he puts his head down in his shoulder pads, and when they cut his head off,
He was still in there.
he was still in there like a little turtle. So Jango will come back looking like
He faked his death. He's been living on some nice planet all these years.
him and Tupac are writing songs in Jamaica.
Grogu hung out at the temple for months and just ate all the food in that whole fucking place. Just chilling.
Just fed off
watching
dead
TV.
Jedis.
Oh, gross.
Plucking their eyes out and eating them.
I crawled from body to body. Want to hear his horror
I
story?
did what I had to do to survive.
Yeah.
Will we see the Rancor in this 7th episode? And Danny Trejo.
Yes, but I don't see him riding that fucker. Well, you know what?
There's been rumors.
Like
Yeah.
a Banta?
Yeah, he's gonna ride that fucker.
He's going to ride that fucker, isn't he?
Yeah,
Like the great Mythosaur.
and that's why everyone in Tatooine's gonna be like, okay, we're gonna follow this fucking mad, crazy dude.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the big reveal. Kira comes to town.
You think Kira's still going to show up, huh?
Yep.
God, that would be a big moment.
Well, there's got to be a couple of things that like seed the second season of this show, right?
Well, speaking of seed, if they're going to take away a wank source for Cole and Garza Whip, they got to give him Kira.
I got a flap. I got a fap to something.
That's a big regret. They shouldn't have blown her up.
I agree.
There's no way she's alive. There's no way she's alive.
She's alive, Matt. There's hope.
I don't know. Yeah.
There's always hope.
We're going to find out she was a Jedi. That explosion went off. She was like,
She did the Kanan move.
yeah.
Yeah,
she's been hiding on the planet the whole time.
She blew it out the back door and hit Rebo, and Rebo actually died.
He's taking a shit. She funneled all the fire into the bathroom.
Yeah.
So it contained and slammed
No
the door.
one's in there right now. I'm in here.
What if she was just using her Jedi mind trick to just
Occupied.
have sex with all the people that came through the bar?
Oh.
That's the life I want to live in.
So you've definitely been to the sanctuary.
I've seen
And that's a metaphor.
the side of the mountain.
Okay.
All right. You ready for the Maul Bag?
Yeah, why not?
Hiya! we should start getting that Matt to do that for our transitions. The or whatever you did.
Hello there.
You've got mail.
I don't think I can pull that off.
Give it a shot.
We got 4, as you mentioned earlier, which is awesome. Thank you very much, everybody. 2 are from prior to the new episode, and then 2 are after. So the first one's from Brian Hour. Greetings, scoundrels. Hello, Brian. First off, someone buy Corellian Cole a king-size Snickers as he gets hangry when he's not satisfied. I'm afraid he would not like my @Snickers Hour bars. He's pumping up his dog Twitter account.
Yeah.
You know what? I can't compete with that. No rebuttal.
No response. You win this round. I very well enjoyed the episode, Chapter 5, and would love for them to explore the ring world more, though I have noticed a bit of a price increase on Hasbro Naboo fighters after this week's episode, but I do see a Mando custom in my future. Talking about Pelimoto now, I do believe the Jawas were allowed to dig in her dumpster, not just the parts dumpster.
Dug her out real good.
What's a lonely black market dealer supposed to do? Not like she can afford a buff Twi'lek. Besides, it's not like the Jawas had to take their robes off to best use their furriness, leaving the mystique of what the Jawas really look like safe.
I think like before she got her Jawa fetish, it was like late at night, and it was like one of those cartoons where like there were 3 Jawas stacked on top of each other with a trench coat, and they just showed up.
You only need 2 for her.
That's true.
We should pull
She likes tall men.
We should pull the line from Cube's song where he's talking about getting a girl he can dig out. It was a good day. Got a call from a Jawa I want to dig out.
Yeah.
Work on that drop, would you?
Yeah, I got it.
What happens on Mos Eisley stays on Mos Eisley. Brian. Thank you, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
Email number 2 from Ty from the 2-on-3 podcast, still on hiatus. Why did Din become a bounty hunter anyway? He hates money. He leaves the credits after the fight with the Klatooinians. He refuses the money from the bounty. He refuses payment from Fennec. Doesn't this motherfucker need to buy a ship? Ty.
Well, he'll only take a certain type of money, right? He won't take Republic credits, or was it the old credits? What is it?
He didn't want Empire credits.
Because it's traceable, right?
I guess that's what it was. And that's why he accepted the calamari flan.
Right.
He needs to get on the Boba Fett camp where Boba Fett's like, I got credits aplenty.
I'm sure he's gonna give him a little something for his help.
He's got his lunch money from the Imperial Academy still.
Saved it every day.
See what I did there, guys?
Yeah, well, I mean, we've talked at length about how bad the Mandalorian is at negotiating and all that kind of thing. He kind of, I don't know if he's afraid of money confrontations, because he's certainly not afraid of physical confrontations.
Right.
But for some reason, he's just like afraid to ask anybody for money. He refuses it a lot. I think he did, actually, to be fair, he did take the bounty money that Ty was talking about. He just was going to refuse it at first because he was going to take the head with him. And then they're like, okay, fine, we'll tell you what you want to know. And then I think
he did take the money. Yeah.
He needed money for the bus. But yeah, I think, I don't know what it's going to take for him to, if you ever go to dinner with Din Djarin, you should see him sweat the bill. You're like, dude, it's okay.
He's George Costanza.
He's like, we're like, hey, you guys want to get an appetizer for the table? We'll split it. No, I'll have a water.
Email number 3 comes from.
Hi, I'm Date Mike. Nice to meet me. Hey, Mike. Everybody hates you. Everybody wishes that you were dead.
I don't know. I feel like your relationship's coming around. Twitter was good for you guys today.
I heard Mike Laybourne was in the sanctuary.
We're flirting a little bit.
Oh no! Was this his last email then?
That's what I heard. Yeah.
He was jerking off Rebo out back.
He was the guy in the shitter. Jerking off Max Rebo. Poor guy's trying to take a piss, and fucking Mike Labor's like, I need $3 for a spotchka.
Labor's butthole's just blown out from that elephant dick. Just fucking rammed it home.
Wow.
You know, I got a Max Rebo Lego here. Oh, man. Having really enjoyed last week's episode of The Mandalorian and this week's episode of The Book of Empire Strikes Back,
There we go.
I've realized I couldn't give a shit about Boba Fett's story.
My
anymore.
guy.
The title character skipped Chapter 5 completely, and he was in Chapter 6 for maybe 30 seconds, along with the return of the Trust Fund Power Rangers, and I didn't miss him. Even the story about Pelimoto giving blowies to Jawas had more emotional depth than anything Fett has given now that the interesting flashback to Tank Tusken stuff has been seemingly resolved. Mike is hot. He is pissed. He is unloading. He may be kissing up to Cole here a little bit.
I feel like he is.
He's trying to repair the damage he did.
Yeah.
You guys are going to end up best friends. after all
P.S.
this is
I'm
done.
sorry I called you C-3PO.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
My first question is this. Has the Favloni Dream Team just given up and shoehorned a ton of familiar characters into a show as a reminder that there's still good stuff on the horizon?
That seems pretty apt to me.
Nope.
I think so.
They wrote all of this and filmed it before any episode aired, so they didn't like, oh shit, we got to emergency fix something real quick. No, and it was always promoted as this was going to be Mando 2.5, right? 2.5. So we got the 4 episodes of Boba Fett setting up his story, and then they brought us back into the world that we know. They're kind of keeping us up to par, and it's all colliding back into the last episode. It's not like a convenient storytelling device, but I don't disagree. I think it works.
Right. I think you're right. I think they just wanted to keep us abreast of what was happening with everybody else while this show was going on. So that when we come around to their versions of, whatever, Ahsoka, Mando season 3, they're not having to tell that part.
This isn't a strange storytelling device in Star Wars either. Like they've done this before. Like in the Aftermath books, they don't tell Cobb's story in just like a chapter or two in one book. Like it picks back up throughout all 3 books, I think.
Yeah, he hasn't been in the second one. I'm on the second one now, and he showed up late in the first one, and I don't think he's been in the second one yet, and about halfway through, so he might be showing up later. Yeah, those are fun books. Second question. Boba Fett has the charisma and charm of a damp plank of wood. But Fennec Shan's character has been criminally underused. I agree with you on that one, Mike. She got a lot of play in Chapter 4, but before and after, not so much. Should the Mando content, as fucking awesome as it was, have been saved for Mando Season 3 and the time given to Shand instead? Maybe they could have brought in the FACPA Wet Dream Cad Bane earlier, as we know from the Dad Batch that those two have beef with each other.
What remind me, Fennec and him, when did they...
There's the whole episode where he was hired to chase Omega.
That's right.
Remember, and him and Fennec get in the big fight, and she knocks him off the balcony thing or whatever, and he comes flying back up in his boots. They have a good tussle.
Yeah, that's
they
right.
do.
Yep.
Yeah, I would like to see them go head to head again. I mean, that's the thing is you want to see Cad Bane fight everybody. You want to see Cobb get redemption against him. You want to see Boba fight him. You want to see Fennec fight him.
Yeah. What's really funny is in the animation, she's much younger than Cad, and I'm pretty sure that she's much older in real life than whoever's playing Cad in the show.
I got it.
What?
He's going to fucking hijack the Rancor, Cad Bane.
Okay.
And he's going to ride it out at the end, trying to, do the whole Dances with Wolves
The
thing.
Rancor's got an Order 66 chip in his head.
Where he's out in the middle, and then they're going to surround him like the last fucking, Apache Indian in Dances with Wolves, and then they're all going to blast him.
Oh, so they all get a shot at Cad at the same time.
360
Wow.
murder, death, kill.
Okay. Oh.
Well, at least he would be on the Rancor and elevated so they're not all shooting each other when they miss.
Right, yes.
That would be, you don't want to do that. It's like that scene in Ronin. Two guys here, fighting, shooting each other across the way, like ripping Sean Bean. I don't know if you remember that scene. That was pretty awesome. Anyway.
Ronin.
Intersecting fields of fire is what they call that.
Well, he's got the rocket boots, remember? So he
doesn't, though. He had like little bandoliers or something around his legs. He
right.
didn't have the rockets.
I felt like those were like
Aren't
flames.
they higher up on his calves, though?
I don't know.
Those boots?
I thought they came out of his heels.
Oh, I don't. Maybe they did.
Maybe they're hidden in the boot heel.
That would make more sense so you don't torch the side of your foot when you go flying in the air.
Maybe they're Beskar lined.
There we go.
Or mithril, as you pronounced it earlier. I think it's mithril, isn't it?
Is it mithril?
Oh, the one that shits himself through his neck?
No.
What is that?
You were close.
What is that guy called? Is he a myth?
I don't know who you're talking about. He was talking about the armor.
I'm talking about from SNL. The one, I'll bring you in cold, and then he shows up later. Remember, like Mythrol,
Mythrol.
right?
Horatio Sands.
Ratio
Yes.
sense, yeah.
Yes.
See, I was close.
Yeah.
Mythrol.
We got
Molten.
there eventually.
He's
You are
molten.
right. I forgot about that. You're right.
I may have not been listening to the last 20 seconds of what you guys were talking about. I just heard that word and I was trying to jump back in.
Well, there's clearly a whole lot more they have for Mando season 3. So I don't think they needed to save this for Mando season 3 if they have all this other stuff. I mean, there's going to be the whole Grogu thing in season 3. There's going to be the Mandalore in the Darksaber stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think there's still plenty to tell there, clearly.
What if they wrap up the whole story next episode?
And and then all series are canceled.
Yeah.
No more.
We did not see that coming.
You get Kenobi and Andor because it's a different timeline, but this
Right.
particular is just done. Sorry. That was your show, Ahsoka. Just that appearance. May the Force be with you, Mike. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks,
And
man.
last, one more. Brian Hour again. He's back. Greetings,
Oh, shit.
scoundrels. Just finished episode 6 and could hear Cole rant from the far side of Exodore. I think he meant to say Exegol, or
what I
maybe he meant
thought.
to say Endor.
Yeah.
Endor 4 or 3 or 2 or 1?
I think we were catching him on the end of one of his like 36-hour just stay awake benders.
That or he's doing that speech to text thing, and
Okay.
the phone fucked up. Maybe
Yeah.
that's what it was. Personally, I felt this episode was more in line with what the sequel trilogy should have been. Ahsoka, Cobb Vanth, exploding pleasure dens, and a baddie that did not look like a recycled Dollar Tree outlet costume.
Ouch.
Nice.
And he's like a fan of Star Wars.
Big fan. Also, where did Luke get that saber? But I loved Luke putting the choice before the kid. Strange, as he never had that choice put before him. Where did Luke get the saber? I don't know, because I don't know where we would have. Maybe Yoda had his saber with him, and he just took it from his little.
What does he mean he's never had that decision? We just discussed that he had the same decision.
He had the decision to. Yes, he had the decision to stay and be a Jedi or go and help his friends.
Right.
And he went and helped his friends.
Yes.
He didn't have his decision to become a Mandalorian or get armor.
Okay. Okay. Not the exact same, but it was
Right,
basic.
but I see what you're saying. He did have a choice.
Forced between a decision of being a Jedi or leaving to
A
do
moisture
something.
farmer.
Yeah.
I'd pick Jedi, personally.
So there, Brian. We already discussed this. All right. Thank you, everybody, for all your entries. Again, FACPApod@gmail.com, and we will tally all those up as part of the giveaway. Appreciate it. FACPAtoid?
FACPAtoid.
I guess I'll read that. Like
sorry.
I thought Jay would read it since it was in this year's, Jay.
I wrote it, but I just wrote it to annoy you. So
Okay, well, let me read it. Like many characters in the Star Wars universe, the use of hoses helps them breathe in difficult environments, like inside Jabba's private bathroom or the Forest of Endor 4, when a lightning storm strikes a sleeping Ewok.
Why are you putting a number on it?
I don't know. I just
I
wanted
swear to God, I read something about a 4 earlier.
Yavin 4, not Endor.
That's what I said. I corrected myself with that.
Oh, okay.
Like inside Jabba's private bathroom or the Forest of Endor, when a lightning storm strikes a sleeping Ewok village and suddenly flaming furballs ping from one tree hut whilst screaming across the bridge to another tree hut. Before you know it, the whole family tree is ablaze. It's best you don't breathe these kinds of things in. Also, it's likely to help them breathe in space. Cad Bane, the clever bounty hunter that he is, crafted his hoses to his face for a very particular reason. In the event that a Jedi or a Sith decides to force choke him, he can still carry oxygen from his face to his lungs. Well, wouldn't they just crimp his hoses too?
That's true, though.
Yeah.
That's what those hoses are for. The rest of it, I was just being a dumbass. But yeah. That's
You're
what I
telling me
read.
that last part is something you found?
Yeah, that's because I was looking it up. I was like, what are the hoses for? Because I wanted to have a FACPAtoid that was like to the episode.
Sure.
So I just looked up Cad Bane, and I was trying to figure out what the hoses were. And they're convenient. That's what they are for, because they go to his cheek, so he can still breathe. The air goes through the hoses and into his lungs. So if he's being choked, he can still breathe.
Do you think the mods
Okay.
are going to look at it and be like, man, this guy's got update 4.0?
Right.
Boy, talk about being 5 steps ahead.
Yeah. So like,
impressive.
what was the fight that like almost killed him? Where he's like, you know what? I'm
gonna
gonna
let
have
that
to have
happen
a little
again.
something installed, and then he goes and see the mod guy on Tatooine. That's why he knows his way around right now. He probably parked his vehicle over at the mod shop, walked into town, Freetown, that is.
When you said it was so that if he got choked by a Jedi or a Sith or something, I was like, that's very specific. But yeah, in general, if this is a bounty hunter, he's going to get in scrapes.
Right.
Somebody might actually try to choke him out. So yeah, it must have happened. Are we going to get an origin story of Chad?
I hope so. I do. Wouldn't that be weird if it was like Cad just happened to be on Coruscant when Order 66 happened, and he's the one that fucking grabbed Grogu and took off with him? Like, I did not
as
see
a prize.
Yeah, that'd be.
To the victor go the spoils.
Yeah,
That's not a bad move.
And then he turned him in for money somewhere.
Yeah, he sold him. Exactly.
Yep, yeah.
Oh, I like this theory.
Thank you for listening, and until next time,
Never tell us the odds.
In our experience, there's no such thing as luck.
we have spoken on Endor 4.